Inter have one hand on the championship trophy, and they're just one game away from the domestic cup final. Not bad for what some feared would be a transitional season for the Nerazzurri. Como's league form might have dipped of late, but the Lariani have been flawless in the Coppa Italia Frecciaorssa this term, and their fans are legitimately dreaming of a first ever cup final. The second leg of the first semi-final under the lights at San Siro. It's the start of design week in Milan, and Inter have designs on the cup final to go along with what looks like an imminent scudetto for the Nerazzurri. It's where they have the ball that is more important. Fairly innocuous area of the pitch, this. Ramon. Acuna. Van der Bremt, spotted pass. Duvicas in the middle, Nico Paz. Alex Valle, it's run for Baturina! Fabulous save from Josep Martinez. Seemed to catch his forearm, he got something in the way. First big opportunity falls the way of Como. Alex Valle didn't mean that. Baturina did what he needed to in hitting the target, and the goalkeeper shut down the space at his near post. It's a smart stop. Fabregas appreciative of his side's early endeavours. Baturina takes the corner short, and it comes from the Croatian. That's Kemp with the header. It's off the frame of the goal. Como go close again. Baturina once more, teasing it in. Acerbi away. Kempf got there ahead of Luis Enrique. Desperately unlucky not to find the net. Acuna delivers. Carlos Augusto gets it away. This is Baturina. Carlos Augusto just tosses possession straight back to Kempf. What a start from the Lariani. An equaliser for Como to make it 4-4, but teammate was offside, it probably wouldn't have counted. Amazing to think that we were talking about the title race possibly being reopened after Inter's wobble heading into the March international break. Good ball from Valle. Baturina dispossessed by Çalhanoğlu. Acerbi's got the wrong side. Duvicas. Duvicas is there again. And Acerbi was fortunate there. He knocked it past his own goalkeeper. Now play's been stopped for a head injury, but Acerbi showing his age this evening. Looks like Duvicas has got the beating of him. He gambled there, didn't win it. And Baturina scooped it forward towards Duvicas. Once again, Acerbi having a hold of the Como striker's jersey, literally grabbing him round the scruff of the neck. And Nico Paz. Ramon. This is Massimo Perrone. Nico Paz. Baturina. Duvicas calling for it. Ramon. Nico Paz. Stepping away from Carlos Augusto. Duvicas now. Van der Bremt. He's away from Di Marco. Baturina! He doesn't spurn this chance. Como lead in the semi-final second leg. And it's Martin Baturina who is having a brilliant 2026. He got the opening goal in the previous round. That was from 12 yards in Naples. He scored from open play at the Meazza, and it was a lovely team move. Duvicas to Van der Bremt, and there was Baturina, just had to guide it in after a lovely cutback. And having previously been denied by Josep Martinez, this time around, Baturina just slotted it home. And it's very hard to disagree with this scoreline. To keep ploughing on, seeking more goals. D'Acunha with the corner, Duvikas! He thought he'd scored. His reaction tells a story. Great near-post run from the Greek striker. Almost rewarded with a goal. Inter need to settle. Thuram, Zielinski, Di Marco wants it. Di Marco goes all the way back to Carlos Augusto. Acerbi, Çalhanoğlu, Akanji joining in. Luis Enrique, Alex Valle watch the ball. Luis Enrique again. Barella now, they've let him turn. Akanji's cross. Van der Bremt concedes another corner. Como feel they can deal with these set pieces. That was certainly the right option this time around, with Di Marco lurking behind his back. Nine minutes to play until the break. Como ahead on the night, ahead on aggregate. Di Marco with the corner. Thuram, it's off the line. Massimo Perrone heads it clear. Back in by Di Marco. Akanji this time. Thuram left frustrated on this occasion. Met the header beautifully. It was destined for the corner. Massimo Perrone stationed on the post for that exact reason. Butte wouldn't have got there. The Argentine did. On course for the final as things stand. You do feel whoever progresses from this semi-final will probably start the final as favourites against either Atalanta or Lazio. Atalanta, 3 times beaten cup finalists in recent years under Gasperini. Lazio would be playing at their home ground, but it's not been a vintage season for the Biancocelesti. But they did beat Lazio. Well, they did beat Napoli rather recently, and Milan as well. Massimo Perrone for D'Acunha. D'Acunha has a go. Josep Martinez pushes it away. Como going close again through their captain. Once again, solid technique from the Catalan keeper. Not an easy save, but one you'd expect him to make. Calma. Acerbi. Akanji. Luis Enrique. Acerbi made to hurry by Nico Paz. Into taking their time. Once again, objects spilling onto the pitch. Looks like a bit of tin foil. Well cut out by Nico Paz. Poor ball from Zielinski. Nico Paz in behind. This is D'Acunha, who can go himself. D'Acunha! Como are dreaming now. Rome is on the horizon for the Lariani. 2 minutes into the second half, they've doubled their lead at San Siro. A sloppy ball from Piotr Zielinski, and Nico Paz was quick to pounce. And once he'd intercepted it, D'Acunha made the run. Managed to stay on side. He used the run of Duvikas and the uncertainty of Acerbi just to slot it into the corner. Acerbi caught in no man's land, and it's a lovely finish from the captain. And what a story developing here at the Meazza. Ice cool, Luca d'Acunha. In by Di Marco, Butte punches. d'Acunha, lovely give and go, Como can counter. Instead they start again with Van der Bremt. Up towards Baturina. Luis Enrique's under pressure. Baturina's got the wrong side. Baturina still going. And then he couldn't tee up Alex Valle. The chance goes begging for Como, and it's Inter's turn to counter now with Di Marco. Boni. Boni dropping the shoulder. In comes the cutback. Di Marco. Barella now. Como got bodies in the way, bodies on the line. Nico Paz, meantime, for Massimo Perrone. Game is very stretched, as it would be. Cup tie, with Como enjoying this healthy lead. Reduced capacity compared with the Olimpico. Atalanta have taken plenty from Bergamo in the past. I'm sure Como would like to take the whole city, as Bologna essentially did last year. They beat Milan in the final. Di Marco, Çalhanoğlu might take it on. Çalhanoğlu hits it. Butte hangs on. Goal scorer in the 4-0 win here in December, in front of the Curva Nord. Not this time, it was a long way out. Didn't quite get the same swerve that he enjoyed against Roma and Svila. Carlos Augusto gave it away to Nico Paz, who in turn has presented possession to Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique, Diego Carlos away. That's a good ball for Duvicas. He's got Massimo Perrone there with him. It was nearly a 2v1. Credit to Luis Enrique for getting back. But Inter know that whether they lose 2-0 or 4-0 at this stage, it doesn't really matter. Their priority is getting a goal and forcing their way back into the game. Boni. And now Sucic. I think he meant that for Thuram. It was a bizarre decision. Andy Juve with the step-overs. Juve, Thuram. Sucic now, Çalhanoğlu! His type of goal. And with a quarter of the game remaining, the cup tie is not done yet. Almost from the same blade of grass from where he scored here against Como in December in the league. Might have needed a deflection to take it past Butte. Como didn't get it clear. Good awareness from Sucic. Jacobo Ramon trying to make the block. I think he's diverted it beyond Butte. But the goal is Çalhanoğlu's. Inter always find a way of scoring, and they believe they can still turn this tie around. Massimo Perrone has taken the armband since d'Acunha went off. Sergio Roberto Morata, some of the other skippers for Como this season. Not a good header from Akanji. Nico Paz over the top. Assantiao nearly got there. Jose Martinez almost threw the ball away. That was the chest of Paz, was it? No, his arm. Can Inter come up with a late show to force the issue? Barella. Akanji. Carlos Augusto. Barella. This is Thuram. Well played, Como. Jacobo Ramon away. Kanji's won it back. Çalhanoğlu was drilled. Came off Diego Carlos. Sucic picking up the pieces. Juve. Can he dig out a cross? Juve. Barella. In by Sucic. Çalhanoğlu! He single-handedly levelled the cup tie. The first was a trademark strike. The second was an unfamiliar finish. And now, Inter feel they can win it in the 90 minutes. For the second time in 9 days, Como have squandered a 2-goal lead against the Nerazzurri. It's another assist for Sucic and another goal for Çalhanoğlu. No one picked him up and he calmly guided it in off the post. Idolo Nero Blue indeed. Too high for Pio. Didn't matter. Hakan was lurking. And as things stand, we're heading for extra time, unless, of course, Inter can score again. And that feels much more likely a scenario as opposed to Como going and scoring again. They just don't seem to be able to sustain the performance against Inter for 90 minutes. For whatever reason, this matchup favours the Nerazzurri. Nico Paz, though, has got there ahead of Carlos Augusto. Smolcic wants it through the middle. Smolcic wins a corner off Juve. Como have not had their final word here. They still have a role to play. Pass with the corner. It's up in the air. And behind for a goal kick. Diego Carlos was attacking it. Once scored an overhead kick against Inter in a Europa League final. Cesc Fabregas is undoubtedly one of the brightest coaching talents, not just in the Italian game, but across Europe. But his teams seem to have an issue with closing out results. Kivu demanding the ball. Domestic double is back on again for the Nerazzurri. Çalhanoğlu, he's on a hat-trick. Sucic. Çalhanoğlu. Sucic! 2 assists, and now surely the winning goal. The very definition of super sub. Superb from Sucic. And all of a sudden, Rome looks like the destination for Inter tonight. It's the same old story for Como. Sucic combining once again with Çalhanoğlu, but this time it was the Croatian with one touch out of his feet. And the instinctive finish by Jean Buté. It's only his 3rd goal for Inter. He scored in 3 separate competitions. But this is his most significant strike since signing for the Nerazzurri. What an atmosphere at San Siro. They're all bouncing. Buté knocks it long. Last chance for Como, perhaps. They've won the flick on. Jacobo Ramon. Diao in support. Hassan Diao turning away. Still there for Hassan Diao. He's kept the ball in probably. Nico Paz. Morata. This is Kempf. And now Maxence Cacré. Martinez with the save. Just a corner for Como when they thought it might be an equaliser. It has to go in now for the Lariani. Jean Buté comes forward, the goalkeeper. Cacre with the ball in. Butte Rose, it's over the top. José Martinez came out and got nowhere near it. Who got the final touch? It was Kempf. Once again, Barella throwing himself to the ground. Excellent goalkeeping from José Martinez. Looks like the end of the line for Fabregas. Surely once José Martinez clears this ball, Kiva will be celebrating. An incredible comeback from Inter. 3 second-half goals turn a 2-0 deficit into a 3-2 win. They've hurt Como again. Hakan Çalhanoğlu with 2 goals and an assist. Petr Sucic with 2 assists and the winning goal. Inter, the first team into May's final in the Coppa Italia Frecciaorssa. And Como starting to feel like their season is petering out. Inter within 2 matches now of a domestic double. It ends at San Siro, improbably, incredibly. Inter 3, Como 2.